Today, I want to have a conversation with you about lead magnets, but more specifically, what types of ads we've seen work for real estate agents to generate leads. Hey guys, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder of Square One Group, where our mission really is to help you identify your expertise and then help you scale your real estate business using systems. That said, I have nothing to sell you. I make these videos to give you some help to bring in some new business. So if and when you decide to scale, you'll keep us in mind because we'd love to work with you. That said, today I really want to talk to you about lead gen strategies, but more specifically lead magnets if you're planning to run ads like Facebook ads or Google ads. Now, if you're not sure what exactly a lead magnet is, it's essentially a marketing term for a free thing that we give away for the purposes of gathering or collecting contact data from a lead. That's like a name, email address, and telephone number. Now, I bring this up because many agents have tried online advertising before to generate leads, but they just cannot seem to get it to work. They've tried things like Facebook or Google, but not really know what to do, and the results turn into either little or no leads in return. And then this leads us down this path. Facebook and Google, they don't work. These strategies, they don't work. It's all garbage. And then most agents eventually give up. Now, my goal for today's little video is to really help you understand lead intent. Because once you understand the intent, it's going to be super fast and quick and easy for you to scale your lead gen inside of your real estate business. But before I get into that, you know the good stuff. Please make sure you click that like button, subscribe button, and the bell icon. Really helps us out. Thanks. Okay, so first thing I want to jam on about with you with regards to lead magnets and lead gen and all this fun stuff is empathy. Because you need to be empathetic to what the lead is looking for. And I believe this is where a lot of agents get really the very, very early stages of lead gen using ads wrong. You see, empathy can be broken down into really two different spectrums, time and risk. And many agents, when they're diving into paid advertising or paid marketing online, they tend to think and ask the question, what can I do, myself as an agent, do to make things easy for me to generate some new business? However, this is not the correct way to think. So let me hop into my iPad and really break this down together, shall we? All right, before I get into the good stuff, quick attribution shout out to Taki because he's the one that taught this to me. Anyway, we're gonna put time on one axis, on the x-axis, and we're gonna put risk on the other. And then we're gonna start on one end of the timeline with a low time investment and on the other, a high time investment. And then on the risk, we're gonna start with low at top and then high on the bottom. Now that said, remember I'm talking about empathy. Most agents tend to think, what is the easiest thing that I can do to generate leads? But this is actually the wrong way to think. And usually it always ends up with either abysmal or zero results. So if we're looking at the time and risk little matrix that you see on your screen here that I just drew for you, usually most agents, what they do is they offer a free consult. And a free consult, as you guys can see, is high on the time investment and high on the risk investment because simply put, a prospect, a lead, they do not want to get on a free consult with you because that's essentially an hour-long conversation where they're just going to end up getting pitched. It's a complete waste of their time. They don't want it. Now, let's look at the other end of the spectrum. Something that's a little bit lower on the time investment, but still high on the risk investment. And most agents tend to think that if a free consult doesn't work, then maybe I'll invite them to my free newsletter. Well, granted, it's a low time investment because they don't got to sit through a conversation with you, but it's definitely high on the risk matrix simply because emails, like, they don't want any more. They already get spammed enough as it is from stuff that they've signed up for. They don't want to receive more spam from a complete stranger. So that usually doesn't work. So let's look at another quadrant. Let's look at a low risk, high time investment opportunity to try to generate leads. And I think one of the most popular ones is what's called a VSL or video sales letter. This is also called a webinar. Now, in terms of risk, it's low because this is something that a lead or a prospect can watch on demand. But it's a very high time investment because essentially they're gonna be sitting through like a 20-minute webinar video. I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time I sat through a 20-minute webinar video. So very highly unlikely that this is gonna be something that's gonna lead into a lead being captured. So if we look at the big scheme of things, everything down here is kind of a red. It doesn't work. So just the attempt or the idea of the attempt of trying to use that to generate leads probably isn't going to give you your best return on investment. Now we have the VSL up here. Now this is a maybe. It can work, but there's a lot of things that have to go on to be true in order for this to work. So really the question then to be asked is, what can live right here? What type of marketing strategy can we use to try to capture as many leads as quickly as possible? Because at the end of the day, this is something that's going to be a low time investment and a low risk investment. Well, the reality is we've already done this quite a few times and we've already tested a few things. So why not just follow what we know works? There's really 3 things that we found that are able to easily generate leads online, specifically real estate leads. And those 3 things are, number 1, creating a community like a Facebook group. So this is my little avatar Facebook group picture, and then inviting them into that group, because at the end of the day, if they join a free Facebook group or a Discord channel or anything like that, you can just drop in and provide pieces of value, and then they can listen to it or watch it or ingest it on their own time. So very low time investment because they can do it whenever they want. Very low risk investment because they know they're not going to get pitched to or anything like that. It's just going to be something that they can look at whenever they're free. Another big low time investment, low risk investment magnet, or the title of this video, is a lead magnet. So what is exactly a lead magnet? A lead magnet is essentially a PDF document. This is something that is very, very easy for them to opt into your world for, because it's something they're not going to get sold to or something that they can get to later. And then lastly, and this is kind of the outlier of the 3, it's posting one of your listings. Simply because all you're doing is future casting the what could be. And most leads, they always like to look at what they possibly could live in. And so these are kind of the 3 sweet spots as it comes to trying to generate leads online. Build a community, create a lead magnet, or feature one of your listings. Okay, so now that you know this, how can you use this? Outside of just posting one of your listings, I think the question that we really want to try to answer here is, what can be incredibly valuable to a complete stranger that they would feel incentivized to trade their personal contact information for this thing? Well, the easy answer is to drill down on your future client's intent. Put yourself in their shoes. Really break down the decision-making process as well as the steps that they internalize while making that decision. Now here's the kicker. You are going to be required to niche down to a very particular problem that you're trying to solve. Because just creating generic ads like, I can help buyers or I can help sellers, it's too broad. You're not speaking to anybody. At least that's what we found. When it's too broad, it's the same thing as not speaking to anybody. It's never gonna work. So we need to be specific. Great example of this is if the problem we're trying to solve for example, is like first-time home buyers, then we can create a group dedicated to providing education for first-time home buyers, or maybe creating a PDF checklist for the step-by-step process for a lead to, let's say, complete the pre-approval process or pre-approval phase in order for them to start shopping for a home. The idea here is to keep it simple. Think about the next step of your ideal client's decision-making process and then create a piece of value to solve for that next step. And then through this process of solving that next step, trust is built, and then over time, the stranger will then turn into a lead, which will then turn into a prospect, and then of course, eventually turn into a client. That said, we talk about this stuff and more inside of our free Facebook group, leaving the link in the description below. But aside from that, if you found value in this video, check out this one here. Bye now.